Welcome to our online webinar. We are going to be discussing occupational therapy's role in managing stress.
So we wanted to start out by talking about what is occupational therapy. According to AOTA in 2019, occupational therapy helps individuals across the lifespan accomplish the things they need and want to do through the therapeutic use of daily activities, otherwise known as occupations. So for those of you that don't know what occupations can include, it can be anything within your day. So this could be leisure, bathing, dressing, anything that occupies your time. Furthermore, occupational therapy helps individuals develop, recover, improve, as well as maintain the skills needed to be successful in daily living.
So stress can impact occupational performance in a lot of ways. The main way is increased stress decreases the blood flow from the frontal cortex to the amygdala. This is otherwise known as the fight or flight response. So this limits the ability to engage in desired activities because with that decreased blood flow to the frontal cortex, you're not able to problem solve or concentrate like you normally would on daily functions. So, with being in this fight or flight continuum, it limits leisure pursuits and the quality of life that one can experience in their daily life.
So OT's role in managing stress can be done in a variety of ways. First, one thing that we like to do is promoting healthy coping strategies with our clients. Another thing is facilitating leisure pursuits. Leisure is a great way to decrease stress, whether it's reading, going for a walk, a hike, bike ride, really anything that you enjoy and it's not a structured activity. That's just another leisure pursuit. Another thing we like to do is introduce strategies that change the thought process to result in different behavioral reactions. This can be otherwise known as cognitive behavioral therapy, which we'll touch on a little bit more later. Lastly, we like to help identify and implement self-management skills and habits and routines, such as time management, because having better time management strategies will in turn decrease stress in the long run.
There are many treatment techniques that OTs like to use. So one of them is that we can use the cognitive behavioral frame of reference to guide our treatment. So the thoughts behind CBT are that emotions are difficult to change. So if we can change our thoughts, there will be a change in behavior, which will increase occupational performance. You really want to change those thoughts from incapable to capable. And we also want to facilitate use of self-management strategies such as breathing exercises, meditation, and like Amanda previously stated, leisure. And then also another great treatment technique to use with clients could be utilizing the Kawa model. So the Kawa model helps illustrate the client's supports and barriers to a successful life flow. It's a really good way to depict the flow. It's a river. And then it facilitates the use of one's assets to overcome barriers.
So, this kind of demonstrates the process of cognitive behavioral therapy. Thoughts is what we think and how we feel and act. This in turn can affect behaviors and emotions and vice versa. So the behaviors are what we do that affects how we think and feel, and emotions is what we feel that affects how we think and act. So all of these things are dependent on one another. So OT's goal is to change thoughts and behaviors to a more positive, decreasing those negative fight or flight emotions to increase occupational performance in daily life.
Here is a little illustration of the Kawa model. It kind of shows how our life flows from birth throughout our whole life and then kind of flows into a open body of water for the end of life. And then over to the right, we have just more of like a cross section of the river, which depicts the surroundings, can be like our life constraints. Then we have the driftwood and the boulders, which are constraints and barriers that we might face. So the whole idea behind the Kawa model is that we decrease our barriers and the limitations to kind of overcome those and find ways around them in order to increase our life flow.
So there are several activities that can be included in if you're working with someone on stress. One that we have identified is therapeutic coloring. Another is making stress balls. So not only do they have something that they can take home with them to maybe help relieve some of that stress, the act of making the stress ball is stress relieving in itself. And then guided meditation.
So therapeutic coloring, I mean, it is what it looks like. So you have colored pencils and coloring sheets. And this activity just takes your mind off of the stressors of life. It gives them a chance to focus their negative energy into something productive and purposeful, which then can decrease feelings of stress and increase performance in other daily occupations.
Our next activity is do-it-yourself stress ball. We included different steps here on how to create the stress ball. First, you would blow up the balloon to expand it and let the air out. Second step, you would use a funnel to add about a half teaspoon of water to the balloon. After you add the water, you can then use a spoon to add flour to the balloon. We found that it's helpful to use the end of the spoon to push the flour through the funnel. Next, once you get the stress ball to the desired consistency, you can remove the funnel and tie the balloon. We found this is a really easy, fun activity to do to release stress, and like we said, it's something you can have clients take home to decrease their stress at home.
And there's many ways that you can make a stress ball too. So it's just basically depends on the resources you have available to you and what you find works. That's just one method that we found.
So lastly, another activity that we thought of was guided meditation. There's several resources that you can use to participate in guided meditation. One of those is YouTube. We included a link to a shorter guided meditation video. I think it's around 3 minutes long. So if you are interested, you can maybe go watch that. And then there's also several apps for phones. Some of these include Headspace, which is my favorite. And then there's also Calm, Oak, and Aura. And these apps just kind of help guide your meditation process and help you kind of bring your thoughts back when they wander.
So here are some of our references. Thank you for listening to our online webinar. Please like and share our video and share it with as many people as you